So let's see where I'm at with the A-7H Corsair 2 in the Hellenic Air Force markings. You can see the tiger meat markings there. I showed the unboxing of this in my last video. And I've got most of the internals assembled. I've still got to finish painting them, but I thought I'd do some dry fitting to see how it goes. I've assembled the cockpit and painted that with AK's 3rd generation Air Series light ghost grey. I don't know if that's the right colour, but it's grey. I did actually try and use a black marker to colour some of the panels in, but that didn't work so well. So I've just quickly resprayed it, and it's just drying at the moment. The cockpit went together quite nicely. The ejector seat was a bit of a tight squeeze. I wonder about the wisdom of gluing that in right now, but it's in now, so I'm not going to take it out. The main gear bays I've assembled as well. They went together all right, and I've just held that in place there with some blue tack at the moment, or white tack, because I want to test fit this and see how it closes up with the main gear bay installed. Likewise with the cockpit and the intakes. Speaking of which, the intakes I've put together, although I haven't added the nose gear yet. It seems to me I'll be able to fit that afterwards, and to avoid risk of accidents or mishaps with the main gear, I'm going to leave those off until I'm finished with the main colour scheme and the painting. So here's the intakes here. I'm encountering a little bit of trouble just closing the nose up. I think it's probably because this is just a bit too wide here, so I'm going to take some width off the outside of the intakes, but I've just coated the inside with flat black. And then here the exhaust I've assembled and coated with, if I can see it, right in front of me, extreme metal, burnt metal, which is looks like a bit of a harsh colour, and I've done the insides of the backs of the fuselage with the same colour. So let's see how it looks closed up. It fits nicely together on the top and around the tail. Sorry for the lighting. As you can see here, the nose is opening up just a tad there, but with a squeeze I can close it. That's nice. Underneath as well, the nose closes up, but there's a problem with the main gear bays. That just doesn't want to close, so I'm going to have to try and figure that problem out. There, just take a with a sandpaper, maybe just sand around the back here. I think that's where the problem is, to see if I can get it to close up. All in all, I think it's going to look quite good once it's all closed up. Just a few other things to note from when I was doing the assembly. On the nose gear bay, there's a hole there which this part of the nose gear fits into. That hole wasn't properly formed in the moulding, so I had to drill that with a 0.8 millimeter drill. Speaking of drilling holes, you need to drill some holes inside the fuselage for these to fit in, and the instruction part here is make holes. It doesn't tell you what size, but I figured out it was 0.8 millimeters. The instructions were a little bit vague about where the location of the holes are. You need to drill 3 on each side, 3 there, and it says make holes, and then oh, I need to make some holes at the bottom there as well. Ooh. I'm glad I'm doing this video now, so I would have missed that. And then what are those holes for? They're for this here. Okay. These 3 holes here I've managed to find and drill. There were locations marked on the inside of the fuselage, so I've drilled those out. But on this side, only 2 of the holes were marked. I'm not quite sure where the third one or the middle one is supposed to be. You can see there's nothing there. I've drilled here and here. There's a hole supposed to be around here somewhere. I can't find it. So what I'm thinking I might do is just trim off the locating pin for this one, part B2. Unless there isn't supposed to be a hole there at all. I'll check the part later and find out. But I'm not going to try and guess where it's supposed to be. I think I'm going to have to offer this piece up and try and locate it. I've already painted the instrument panel. Not that you can see it because it's all black. The instrument panel and the shroud. Here and here, and the back panel of the cockpit there. I've painted that light ghost grey as well. All this needs to be washed and detailed so I can finish closing up the fuselages. So I've got the fuselages closed up. As you can see, I have dealt with the gap underneath. I had to do some sanding of the main gear bays here to get that to fit properly. I also had to sand the exhaust part here where it fits into the fuselage because the back wasn't closing up properly. This looks like a gap, but it's running my finger over it. It's actually not. I think that's just where the paint is on the inside. I have detailed the cockpit. I picked out the ejector seat in olive green and then gave it a dark wash. all over inside the cockpit. The decals inside the cockpit, the instrument panel decals, which are on either side of the ejector seat here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see that in the main instrument panel there itself. They were oversized for the plastic parts, so I had to trim them a little bit to get them to fit, but after that they went down nicely. I've added 5 grams of, well, I think it's 5 grams, it might not be 5 grams. I added enough liquid gravity to fill the entire nose here. I almost forgot to put it in. I was worried about it being a tail sitter, but before I had installed the shroud, I'd managed to there was a gap between the instrument panel and the nose. I was able to pour some liquid gravity in, some super glue, and get that done. And I think it's worked. It's definitely tilting towards the nose. What else have I done? I've installed a piece of brass rod through the fuselage here where the horizontal stabilizers will fit. I think that's going to be quite a weak joint, so I'm going to reinforce that with the brass rod, or something stronger if I can find it. And I've started to sand the joints here. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.